Now the slurry ban has lifted and the tankers are on the road everywhere. And after all that deluge of rain we've had, tanks are lipping and folk are glad to get it out. So this is Angus Partners here working away. Look out for the case paint work there. Now the weather's been rough again, windy and wet, and we're just dodging about home at the minute, tidying up the shed, getting new screen on this gate here to keep the little lambs when they come from getting a draft. And the other one was very untidy looking. Barbara was giving out to me get that fixed up. So we're just cutting a bit of an old tube here and putting these bands round to hold it from flapping about and wrecking itself. And we got a delivery of mail this week too from Joseph Walls, 19%. We could really do with a big mail bin, but we just have these two yellow dumpsters here for putting it in, but that does us for a week, 10 days. So. Now I was doing a wee job down at a wee place called Marlfield. It's our Thomastown here, as you can see as well. But this was a lovely farm. It was owned by my dad's cousin, and it ran from here, sort of 3/4 of a mile, down to the shore just outside Portaferry. And Isle Jack was what we was called, Jack Savage. So Isle Jack phoned me. I've cut hedges on this farm since I was a wee fella, since I left school. And Jack told me, phoned up. He says, I need some hedges cut. He says, come on Saturday. Come on Saturday. And I says, right, that should be okay. I says, I'm working somewhere else and whatever. But anyway, where I was working, the farmer came out with a heap more work to do, so I didn't get on Saturday. So on Saturday evening, when I got home after dark, there was a phone call. It was Isle Jack. He says, where were you at? He says, where were you at? I says, oh, the farm I was at. I says, he came up with a heap more work and I didn't get down. So I says, it'll be Monday now. He says, Tom and I spent the day running, getting cattle in for you to dose when you come down and you didn't appear. So he was a real old codger. He didn't. He was doing everything to suit himself. And whenever I went down to cut the hedges, I was half a day's work dosing and injecting cattle every time I went down. So Jack got his money out. But a beautiful farm now, lovely rural. It's one of the nicest farms on the peninsula, I think. And anyway, I never got a sniff off it. Jack never left me a hip, the old rascal. But anyway, that's just every time I go down to cut here, it just reminds me of that, of him giving me a tonguing for not being there when he wanted the cattle dosed. And it was under the pretense if he was wanting the hedges cut as well. Now, this is up near the farmyard at where I was, where old Jack's farmhouse was. And you can see this hedge here is a deep shuck in the roadside. And I'm doing this hedge here, but the field's very wet on the inside. Just behind the pole there, you can't go in at this time of year because you'll be stuck in it. But also, just past the pole here a bit, whenever I'm driving on the verge there to reach over the drain, it's just at full reach, and you can feel the back end of the tractor starting to slip down in, so you could end up bogged in there and have somebody to come and tow you out. But I call that corner there and that dangerous little bit of a slope down, I call that the Harrison syndrome you get, because you could get bogged in and stuck against the hedge and have to get someone to tow you out. Isn't that right, Robert and Andrew? That's about us for another week, folks. But be sure to keep your hat and gloves and wellies near hand for tonight, Thursday night. The forecast, Barbara's relaying it to me here. It's going to be rain and gales all day tomorrow. So pull the chair up to the fire, get yourself a cup of coffee, and just below the video screen here, you'll see this finger pointing down. Look into your video there, shrink it down, and you'll see what videos I'm having a look at if you're interested in end time stuff. There you go. See ya soon.